Jenny's on deck with Evil Dead chick. What's in store when you open the door? Step inside, my little ones. Bring your flashlight and good luck charms. Oh, and good luck charms. Oh. Might get dark. It might get scary. Maybe even a little insane. Crawl out from under the bed. Don't be afraid. Evil Dead Chick is here to entertain and thrill. Jenny's on deck with Evil Dead Chick. Let's hang out till the sun comes up.
All messed up.
Beyond recognition. Yeah, they're all messed up, skinned and alive, chainsaw ripped apart, maggot fight. All messed up, dead, yeah, dead. All messed up. Punctured eyes, blocked out, chopped up like firewood. Yeah, they're all messed up.
Howdy, gang, and welcome to yet another edition of They're All Messed Up. And we're going to get to a couple of movies here in just a little bit. One of these being the Paul Bartel sleaze classic. I mean, it's pretty sleazy, and I'm going to talk about it here in just a little bit. Private Parts, not the Howard Stern Private Parts. This is a totally different one. And The Red Queen Kills 7 Times, starring Barbara Boucher, the very lovely Barbara Boucher. I can say that. I mean, she is a very lovely lady. And Steve and I actually met her a few years back, and she was a very nice lady when we met her. So anyway, going to be getting into those and the kills in those here in just a little bit, but I want to get some housekeeping stuff out of the way. I also want to apologize. This is a late one again, folks, and probably won't have anybody because, you know, I understand that through the week people don't want to be sitting here watching streams at 10:30 at night. They might want to watch some streams, but they're not going to want to watch every stream that's out there at 10:30 at night. So, but the truth was, I just kept falling asleep, not because the movies were boring, but just because I was just so tired today. But I didn't want to cancel this one or reschedule it because I've already had to reschedule other things, and I didn't want to keep doing that. Hold on one second. Darcy's acting like she wants to go outside. Want to go outside? Oh, I hope somebody somewhere is getting some cooler weather because all it does is storm and rain around here. It has all week, but it doesn't cool off, or it doesn't cool off very much, and it stays humid and it's just miserable out there. Uh, but that's just me complaining. Uh, but I want to remind everybody, of course, that because this is a live stream, movie roulette is in full effect. And how do you play movie roulette? Well, you give a $5 or more super chat during any of my live streams that I do. That includes watch alongs. And you can pick any movie of your choosing for me to watch and do a review of for an upcoming episode of Movie Roulette. So just keep in mind that for as little as $5, you can make me watch any movie, folks. It can even be what I said I hated in the past. You don't know. I might like it this time around. I also want to invite everybody to hop on over to deaditesondeck.com, my horror shop. Tell them Poe sent you. Poe is the official mascot of the Deadites on Deck horror shop. And if you can remember my channel, my YouTube channel name, you should have no problem remembering the shop name because they are kind of one and the same. But I have t-shirts, I have hats, I have tote bags, I have mouse pads, I have blended teas, I have candles, I have booga booga bears, and hopefully soon the pyro plushies will be making their way to the shop. Now, if you're not a horror fan, or even if you are a horror fan, but you do not see a design that you like on the shop site, there's a handy dandy form on the homepage of the shop where you can tell me what it is your heart so desires. And as long as it's legal, I will be glad to try to make that a reality for you. And if we can agree on price and all that good stuff, I'll be glad to move forward with making a particular item for you with a particular design. If you have a business or a side business, and you want somebody to make a logo, if you can tell me what it is you want on this logo, I will do my best to try to make that a reality for you as well. We can put that on t-shirts. We can put it on hats. We could put it on tote bags and mouse pads and all those different things. If you don't want that, I could also put you and your significant other on a shirt, your kids, your grandkids, your pets. Like I said, as long as it's legal, we'll try to make that a reality for you. Also, I'm not really sure. My schedule changed, and technically, I would be able to do a movie roulette or movie roulette. Gosh, you can tell how sleepy I am. Friday Foolish. But I'm not sure about Candace. I'll try to ask her again tonight. And if I don't hear from her tonight, I'll ask her tomorrow. And if we can't, I'll try to throw in something fun for you guys and gals for Friday. So, what else? We should have uh, a lineup this coming week for uh, some more cannon fodder. Hopefully, more they're all messed up. We won't be having a horror fandom this Tuesday, but I'm thinking next Tuesday. I think that's when I've got one scheduled. Or hopefully me and Chris, plus some of you guys and gals, if you want to discuss horror collecting, what it is you collect, why you collect it, what the obsession sometimes is with collecting all things horror. So we're going to be doing that in a couple of weeks. And like I said, hopefully I can have Chris on there with me again because I had a really good time last time where we were talking about horror conventions. Dick's Picks is over with, but you can still watch the old streams of all the Dick's Picks episodes. Won't have any watch alongs coming up this weekend. However, the following weekend, I should have a couple of them. And again, that'll be the last time, unless there's a clamoring for me to do them on Saturdays and Sundays. That will be the final time that there is a Saturday and Sunday watch along, both starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Not this weekend, but the following weekend. I hope those of you that got to either be there live for the Edge of the Axe watch along, or that you got to watch it on the replay, I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed doing that one. We've got an Evil Dead Chick Slasher Fest coming up the first Friday in August, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. There'll be a couple of movies. It's going to be bad movie night, folks. And we're going to be watching Drive-In Massacre and Blood Cult. These are not good movies, folks, but they are fun movies in my opinion. So I hope that you guys and gals will bring your buttered popcorn and soda, uh, or drink of choice or snack of choice to Evil Dead Chick Slasher Fest, which will take place um, the first Friday in August. I believe that's actually August 1st, if I am not mistaken. All right, so let's go ahead and get to these movies and the kills in said movies. And I'll also let you know what the next couple of movies will be for They're All Messed Up. That will be Seven Bloodstained Orchids, directed by Umberto Lenzi, and Silent Night, Bloody Night, directed by Theodore Gershony, both from 1972 as well. All right. So the first movie I want to talk about and talk about the kills in is 1972's Private Parts. Again, not the Howard Stern Private Parts, which came much later. But this is directed by Paul Bartel of Eating Raoul. Sorry about that. And Less Than the Dust. Yeah, folks, this is a bizarre film, if you can't tell by the cover of this. This is a DVD. I picked it up many moons ago, in that big bin that not Walmart had, but that Big Lots used to have. And you could get these movies for a little bit of nothing, folks. And this one just intrigued me, and I ended up purchasing it. Okay. So let's talk about the kills in this. We only have 4 total kills in this, but the first one is more than makes up for kind of the lackluster ones that happen later. Because we have a man that is decapitated and his body is burned in an incinerator. We got a woman that has her throat slit, a man who suffers severe head trauma and dies from a humongous light falling on his head. And then we have a woman stabbed in the chest with a machete. And basically, that's all the kills. We got 4 total kills in Private Parts. Now, let's talk about the movie itself. We have a weird collection of characters, headed up by Cheryl, who is basically a teenage runaway. She's run away from home, and she at one time was very good friends with this other girl, and they moved in together to an apartment in LA. And for whatever reason, we're not really told, what went on before the movie started, to make these girls, not get along. But the friend uh, basically has caught Cheryl peeping at her and her boyfriend one too many times having sex, and she gets really mad at the near the beginning of the film and tries to drag Cheryl in there to have, I guess, like a threesome or something, and rip Cheryl's shirt and stuff like that. And Cheryl's like, basically, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. And, she's like, well, her friend is like, well, where are you going to go? I don't know. I'll go somewhere. I just want my money. And she's like, I'm not giving you any money. So Cheryl ends up stealing the money from her friend and leaving and makes her way to an old seedy looking hotel run by Lucille Benson. And some of you guys in the house might be saying, who the hell is Lucille Benson? Lucille Benson, for those of you not in the know, for one thing, she was Miss Elrod near the beginning of Halloween 2. She's the one that screams and throws up her hands when she finds blood on her cutting board where Michael Myers has walked into her house when she wasn't looking and stolen her knife, her butcher knife. Also, Lucille Benson was uh, the uh, the manager of the hotel for women in Bosom Buddies, the Tom Hanks, Peter Scolari vehicle that I used to love watching. I think it only lasted 2 seasons, and I think it ran out of steam supposedly in the second season. As some of you that aren't interested in Bosom Buddies, maybe it's like, what the heck? But she does, Lucille Benson does have another horror film on her resume, and that is, of course, Halloween 2. Um, and this old, dilapidated, kind of sleazy, seedy hotel is the King Edward Hotel, and there's a lot of bizarre characters that live there. There's a priest that's there that uh, I don't want to say too much, but I don't think he wants to have relationships with women. I'll just say that. And so Cheryl, when she first gets to the hotel, we just think she just saw this hotel. But it turns out that Lucille Benson, the manager of this hotel, is her aunt. And, Cheryl starts asking her aunt different things like, where's Uncle Orville? And she's like, Orville? He's dead. He's been dead many years. And then Cheryl, switches tactics and says, didn't you and Uncle Orville have a little girl? And she said, not Orville and I did. She said, Orville was too old. And so we went, I guess they went to a fertility clinic, and she said, we figured out a way around it. And I had a baby without Orville. And Cheryl wants to know where is the daughter? And basically is told by her aunt that the daughter died. She's in the Lord's hands, as her aunt puts it. And then there's George, who is a photographer, and he's always lurking around the hotel and watching Cheryl's every move. And we find out that George is a little more bizarre than we first realized, because George has this plastic blow up doll that he has evidently taken a picture of Cheryl and puts her picture on the blow up doll, and he likes to caress it in bed, and no telling what else he's doing. Um, so certain people start coming to the hotel to look for Cheryl, including her ex friend's boyfriend, who comes there looking for her and gets killed off. He's actually the first kill in the movie. He's the guy that gets decapitated and then his body stuffed in an incinerator in the hotel. But I don't want to give away everything, but this certainly has shades of films like Sleepaway Camp, and I'm just going to leave it there. I don't want to give everything away in case you're interested in checking this movie out. Um, it's it's bizarre, it's sleazy, it's seedy, but Paul Bartel did it. And if you've seen things like Eating Raoul, you will totally understand this. Paul Bartel was also had a small part in Chopping Mall, um, and I want to say he was also in Killer Party as well, if I'm thinking correctly, and I think I am. Um, so a fun little time waster of a movie. It's not a an exceptional movie by any stretch of the imagination. The acting's not bad in it. The first kill is enough to, like satisfy most horror fans and gore fans. The other kills in the film are pretty much standard. But the whole package is what makes this one that I'm like, I'm surprised I didn't go back and watch this. I hadn't watched this for years. So it was like watching it with fresh eyes, which might have been the best thing for me to do. And has a very bizarre ending, as if the rest of the film wasn't bizarre enough. So if I wanted to, and which I will, give a rating for Private Parts. Um, I know, gang. I've had long enough to get that half, but I haven't. But I'm going to give Private Parts 3.5 deadites out of 5. I think it fully deserves those for the for that first amazing kill, for the bizarreness of the film, that keeps you, you know, guessing and thinking, well, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next in this movie? Not a really scary movie. So if you're looking for something scary, you might want to pick another film. But for a quirky, bizarre little piece of cult filmmaking, um, you could do a whole lot worse. So I think Paul Bartel did a pretty good job with this. So anyway, that is Private Parts. And the next one, this is Steve's copy of The Red Queen Kills Seven Times. Steve is a huge, huge, huge fan of the very lovely Barbara Boucher. And honestly, I can't blame him because she was very young on this. I'm not sure exactly how old she was, but she was very, very young in this film. And so we're gonna talk about the kills here. In this, there were a lot more kills in this one. There were a total of 10 kills in this film as compared to Private Parts. But the Red Queen Kills Seven Times wasn't as much fun for me and I've seen the Red Queen Kill Seven Times with Steve, but it had been a while, so I wanted to refresh myself on that. But this one also came out in 1972, directed by Emilio Maraglia. I don't know if I'm massacring that guy's name or not. But we have a total of 10 kills, like I said, in this film. So a man has a heart attack after being frightened to death. Or just frightened, I should say. Basically, that's how he was killed. He was frightened to death. Woman dies from head trauma, severe head trauma, I must say, by having her head banged against uh, a stone over and over and over again. Pretty bloody scene. And there's two different versions of it, and I'll just leave it there because I don't want to give away all the twists and turns in this film. Got a man stabbed to death, a woman stabbed to death. There's a lot of stabbings in this. A woman's throat punctured on a spiked fence, which was a pretty cool kill. That was probably my favorite kill in the film. And I hope my computer don't restart. It keeps wanting to do these updates. Um, A man is dragged by a car and killed when his head hits a curb at high speed. That one was pretty cool. We got two more women who were shot. Another woman is stabbed, and then a man is drowned. So, again, that is a total of 10 deaths or 10 kills, and the Red Queen kills 7 times. And you may be saying, well, how's the Red Queen kill 7 times come into it? Well, um, it's about a family curse, folks. So we start out the film with two little girls, a blonde girl and a dark haired girl, who uh, one of these sisters, they turn out to be sisters, steals the other's doll and runs to where grandpa's sitting at his desk. And, he's like, girls, girls, stop, um, fighting, and tells the one girl, give your sister back her doll, basically. And, but, but the other sister will not. And she looks at a painting, and the painting is of a black queen killing the red queen. And the curse is in this family that because centuries ago, the black queen killed the red queen, and the red queen came back to get revenge. And hence, red queen kills 7 times. That is part of the curse. So we are introduced to Kitty, played by Barbara Boucher, and Francisca, I think so it's pronounced, um, played by Marina, excuse me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, Marina Malfatti from All the Colors of the Dark. Um, okay, let's go back. And the curse is every 100 years, so the legend goes. The bloodthirsty Red Queen returns and claims 7 fresh victims. And Sybil Danning is also in this, for those of you that love Sybil Danning. And although I'm not as big a fan of this one, um, which is basically a murder mystery thriller or a giallo, I think you can safely call this one a giallo as well. Some people may not, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. So, the only drawback for me to this film was that there were, even though there were 10 total kills in this, a lot of them were pretty standard stabbings and stuff like that. I mean, you had the one where the woman's throat was punctured on the spikes on a fence, which was really cool. But the old man having the heart attack, um, just the stabbings and the shootings and stuff like that. Nothing really spectacular there in the way of the majority of the kills. The story's pretty good. Barbara Boucher was good in it. Um, I know there's going to be a fair amount of nudity in films like this, but that wasn't really, that never has been my forte as a straight woman. I'm not interested. But you men may very well be interested in all the fleshy parts of this movie. You got women taking their clothes off basically at the drop of the hat. I don't believe that Barbara Boucher gets naked in this. If you want to see Barbara Boucher naked, you're going to have to watch another film. But pretty decent story overall. The kills were decent. But if you want to see some really interesting kills, you're probably going to have to turn to the likes of Dario Argento. for a lot of those really spectacular, morbidly beautiful, almost like artwork um, kills. And to me, that's just the honest truth. Um, Although a lot of these other Jallos are acceptable, they're watchable, they're interesting, um, they're a little weaker than the heavy hitters like Argento. So, um, I didn't hate the Red Queen kill 7 times, and I actually remembered certain parts of it as I was watching it again because I don't think it's been that long since Steve and I watched it together. But I think Steve likes this movie pretty well, and a huge part of that is because Miss Barbara Boucher is in it. Um, but um, I'm going to go ahead and give the Red Queen kills 7 times 4 deadites out of 5, just because this one was a little more polished, wasn't quite as entertaining as Private Parts. It was a little more polished, a little the setups were a little bit better than Private Parts, and it was trying to be a different type of film than Private Parts. I don't think Paul Bartel was trying to make a Jallo, right? So it got the higher rating, but I will say that I had more fun with Private Parts. So I guess that is it for me for tonight. But I want to thank those of you that were able to pop in for a little bit for this edition of They're All Messed Up. And I also want to thank those of you that, although you may have not gotten to watch this live, you can certainly watch it on the replay. So I want to thank all of you that will watch this on the replay in advance. And hopefully next week there won't be a bunch of rescheduling and all that stuff. Maybe work will calm down so I can actually be able to watch movies and get off from work early enough where I can actually plan for things. But I want to thank everybody once again. And I also want to remind you guys and gals, I know everybody's not made out of money, especially in this day and age. So if you're interested in supporting me and the channel, there are several ways that you can do that and it won't cost you a dime. Okay. And I would be very pleased to have you one as a subscriber. If you love the content I'm putting out and you haven't subscribed, don't wait, don't delay. Go ahead and subscribe. It costs you nothing. I'm not going to come to your house and try to, convert you over to anything or anything like that. You will not be bothered. You don't have to watch all my live streams. You don't have to watch every video I put out. But just the act of subscribing, if you like the majority of the stuff I'm putting out, really helps me get up in the algorithms of YouTube. It helps me get to my next goal, which is 1,000 subscribers. I've got almost 950, which means I don't have too many more to go before I can reach that 1,000 subscriber milestone. And yeah, I consider it a milestone. I feel like I've worked very hard on my channel to build up the subscriber base that I do have, and that I feel like for the most part I did it on my own. And so I'm proud of that fact. So if you haven't subscribed and you're liking the content really well, please subscribe. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming streams and videos or actually streams that I will do. Also, if there are certain videos and streams that you particularly are interested in or particularly enjoyed, please hit that like button for them. And guess what? You can share with friends and family members that you think might enjoy the content that I'm putting out as well. That doesn't cost you anything, doesn't cost the friend or family member that you share my channel with. And I guess that's all from me for tonight. And as always, I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off of here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Have a fantastic rest of your Thursday, folks. It is Friday Eve. And I hope a lot of you, if not all of you, are off this weekend. And I hope you got great plans for the weekend. And I'll see everybody next time.